All righty, we'll get rocking and rolling. Welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about building a better online presence. And I'd like to first kick it off here and talk about some of the things that Remax and First Advantage gives you for free to help you guys do that. And then we'll open it up for more of an open discussion, and hopefully everybody can participate and kind of share their thoughts and ideas of how they build their own online presence. So number one here on my list, I have three items. KV Core gives you a lot of information, one generated for free, and a lot of it's automated on your behalf. Every time you put a listing in there, you get all types of property websites, listing material, flyers, brochures, social media posts that you can put out online, and that in turn will help you build a better online presence. Additionally, within KV Core, you got things like landing pages and squeeze pages. These are things that you can do school district search posts, that sort of jazz, and you put that out on social media. It extends your reach and also hopefully generates you some leads as a result. Another one, a big one, is the AVM tool. This is a good one that's used to get listing leads. If you're not familiar with an AVM tool, it's a automated valuation model. You put that out there and it has something to the effect of, if you're looking to find out what your home's worth in the current market, click here and you'll get a automated generated valuation model for your home. Second on my list for free things that Remax offers to extend your online presence is the Remax Hustle campaign. So if you're not familiar with this, they put a lot of money into marketing, and as part of that, they have custom commercials that you guys can make. Every single agent, there's a lot of different campaigns and commercials that they have as a part of that. You go in, you put in your information, and it's something, a short clip video that's branded to you, and it's pretty entertaining, and they get a pretty good response on social media. You also can make custom listing videos in there as well by uploading, listing photos and listing details, and you can make custom listing videos for each one of your listings. The third one that they also offer is Hustle Graphics. So any details about your business, the amount of calls you're making, deals you're closing, you can put that information in there and it will generate a nice infographic that shows your Remax hustle. Those are, again, something that you can share on social media, Facebook, Instagram, those sorts of things. So moving down here, number three on my list for, building a better online presence. This is something that First Advantage we offer as a company. We have several client appreciation parties and company events throughout the year that we put together, posts. All you have to do is share these types of posts and invite your client base to them. We have something almost once a quarter, and this is something, in the very least, if you just share these posts, one, it gets more attention to things like the ice cream social, the golf tournament where we're raising money for Leak, the Ride and Drive charity event where we're raising money for Penn State Children's Hospital, and Photos with Santa. These are things that a lot of them raise money for a great cause, but additionally, it extends you as a brand and builds a better online presence.
Yeah,
Also, as a result.
the awareness of our company is, we have two things there. Primary is to raise the money for the campaign, whatever it may be. But the second thing is to make an awareness of the company that we're interested in doing something in the community. And we need to catch that fever a lot more than we have it right now. Because the more we get involved with this, the more everybody benefits from it by boosting up the activity. When we look at things from afar, we say to ourselves, what's the hottest company in our marketplace right now? Is that answer Remax First Advantage or somebody else? If it's somebody else, we as a group need to change that. Okay, we're doing the right thing. We've just got to give it a little more oomph.
Yep. And sharing these types of posts definitely extends everybody's reach. It's something
Right.
that you know, everybody wins as a result. So that kind of concludes my three things that are simple that everybody can post and extend their online presence. Uncle Tim, any thoughts you want to share on that? And we can get into a more open discussion.
I think if we get into a more open discussion now, we can see what other people are doing. At the meeting the other day, we talked with Stacy about her Hey Stacy campaign. I'm not sure Stacy was able to make it to the call today. Her sister's been in the hospital, so she's been dealing with her. But if we could jump to Morgan, Morgan, can you unmute yourself? Look at that smile. So Morgan, you've been doing a lot more social media than ever before, and you're doing a lot of videos. Can you tell us what your mindset is about the videos that you're doing and the direction you're taking it with your presence?
Yeah, so my big thing lately for probably the last few months has just been like sharing my day and sharing everything. So I'm not trying to add anything to my life, but what I already do, just giving people a glimpse, because I think as realtors, sometimes we think all we want to post is real estate, and that gets boring to people unless you're actually looking for a house. But we want to stay connected so that when somebody says, like, you know, I'm looking to sell my house, that the first thing is like, oh, call Morgan, you know, and they seem, when they relate to your everyday life, they seem to like know you very well. So they're like, oh yeah, she's got 2 kids. Her son plays lacrosse, or you may know her because of this, but it's just because of that, me sharing my everyday life and things that I do. Lately, I've been sharing like some of our meals. I love to cook for my family and I care where our food comes from. So I've been sharing some of that. I did the other day on a Saturday, I did a day in my life, and I uploaded it to Instagram from my story of everything I did that day, from the time I left my house until I came home that night. Followed me around through all of our kids' sports and our sports games and showing houses and having a buyer appointment at the office. And just like, I connected with a lot of people through the stories. So I think that we have to remember that we're not just posting real estate, and people actually connect more with you when it's not real estate. And that's been my big thing. Is I love Instagram stories, but I'm trying to do more reels of capturing little things that can stay there a longer time. So I share Instagram stories that go away in 24 hours every day. So whatever it is, it can be, you know, on Saturday, it was Random Acts of Kindness Day. So I posted a couple things with that, and, you know, just pieces of my day or pieces of my life, I guess.
Okay, good. Bill Anderson, I see you up there. I don't know, was it 4 years ago, 6 years ago, you and Sherry went to a conference in Florida and you watched Tom Ferry, and Tom Ferry told us that this was coming before it really got popular. I mean, we were all posting pictures for years and advertisements of our houses that we had for sale and that stuff. But Tom told you and Sherry at that conference that video was really coming strong, and it certainly has. What if you can tell us a little bit about that conference and then what that's done for you guys, because you guys are also doing some videos of open houses and homes that you list versus your life. So tell us a little bit about that conference.
I'm impressed that you remember, Tim.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm not that old yet.
That conference. We've been to a couple actually. That conference was really well attended. And, they had said that, when people search for things, video gets a higher ranking in a search. So you should have your own YouTube channel. You should do all those things. And I mean, they had guys there, of course, that were, off the charts with their numbers. A guy out of Nashville, from what I remember. you know, was just had a big team and was just selling a lot of real estate. But yeah, it's the search, you know, the SEOs and everything like that, that the YouTube, have your own channel. And like Morgan said, don't make it about real estate. That's boring. You know what I mean? Because not everybody that sees your video is going to be looking for a house. You know, make it your real place, and you might connect. The biggest thing to do is to connect on something. I mean, you try to find something in common when you go to a listing appointment. You know, your kids, whatever they're willing to share, and you know, you might know somebody that they know. So, but the video, and yeah, it takes there's a learning curve with it, because I can remember Morgan was messing around with it, I think, when we were at an NAR show, and we were sort of looking at it like, what the hell's she doing? You know what I mean? How's she doing this? And she was sort of giving us tips or whatever, and it just, but yeah, the more you play with it, I mean, that's like Sherry's favorite thing to do, is to try to learn, how to do some of these and add words to it and all these little ins and outs. But there's actually free webinars on Facebook of these people, the Instagram expert, I think is what she's called, and they do these online and show you how to do it. So it's not like it's a big secret. They want to share how you can do it. So
Yeah, and
Is
regardless of what Bill's saying is that I think my challenge to everyone would be just do it, because people love when you're real. So they like to see your mistakes. They like to, I just talked, Joe Schutz and I had like a long conversation about this the other day. And I told him, just people like when there's mistakes because they feel like you're a real person. When it's overly produced, it's not as well done. Like people don't, your views will be way less on it. And I can tell you, and Bill can attest to this, but just like random things that I did, like I have this wet mop vacuum that I use on my floors. And I did a video of me, like just like a clip of it, like me running my vacuum, like cleaning my floors the other day. And Bill can tell you how that went over, but his wife wasn't the only one that commented on it.
yeah, my wife actually bought one like that day, and it hasn't been used yet, but I mean, it's, sitting in here charging for 6 days now, but she's got a laptop for Christmas too, and she hasn't even opened the box yet. So, there's all those issues.
Be careful, Bill.
That brings up a very good point too. I put up a video of me making avocado toast this weekend. Not sure if you guys saw it, but I only have like 400 friends on Instagram. I haven't been very active on it, but I made it, and then I tagged a product that I used in it, and that thing almost has 1,000 views already. So if you can tag something that's a very popular product that you use or whatever, and you'll get more views that way too.
Yeah, and people will just connect you. And like what happens is, like, I know I just was teasing Bill and Sherry because this has been like the whole vacuum thing, but I did that the other day on my hardwood floors. I used the wet mat. I can tell you that I probably connected with a dozen of my clients and probably another dozen people that were just friends of mine on Instagram or followers that reached out to me and said, oh my gosh, what is that? Which one? I just threw one out that I hated. Which brand is that? And like it started conversation with them. So like it has nothing to do with real estate, but it's something I do every week in my home. And then this past weekend, I did the same thing with I was shampooing my carpets, and I had like a little clip of like me like tearing the room apart. And again, probably another dozen people that I know have like communicated with me and talked to me, and we're messaging back and forth. So all it is like a conversation starter for people to interact with. And it has nothing to do with real estate. I just did stuffed shells making for my family. And like when I'm making it, I'll just take some video the whole time, and then I put it together in a little reel. And so many people have messaged me privately, and there's people commenting on it about, oh, thanks for the reminder. I love stuffed shells. We used to make this when I was a kid. And like people message me and saying, hey, can you send me the recipe? Even though I put it through the thing, like I send them the direct link then. Just all kinds of ways of connecting with people. So it doesn't have to be, this is the house I'm selling this week, or I just sold this house. You can throw that in to keep people like seeing that you're a realtor, but it's a lot more fun when it's totally something random.
All right, so listen, Kong and Morgan, you have to dumb this down for the masses. When you tag somebody, are you talking about you just insert a name into it, or what does that mean?
So Joe, you were doing your Instagram the other day and I showed you that like walking in, I said, so Joe goes to Planet Fitness and he works out at Planet Fitness. And I said, when you're walking into Planet Fitness, do a short video of you walking into the gym. And then you can tag where you do that @ symbol and you type in Planet Fitness. Or if you're at a location, there's a part where it says location and you can hit the location button and say Planet Fitness. And he can actually choose the location that he's walking into. And I told him that that's going to connect with so many people because then they're going to say, oh my gosh, Joe, I was there an hour ago, or I go there too, or maybe I'll run into you, or great to see you there, or what time are you going tomorrow? Like people just feel comfortable like sending that on the actual message because it's not out to the public, but it's a conversation between the two. It's like texting.
Right. So you're talking about, so you just do the @ sign and then you add the name.
Sure. So
or if you're doing a location, you can do the location thing.
Correct. So like if I was posting and it's something that Erin and I were both doing, I would do the @ symbol and type Erin Duffy, and her name may not be Erin Duffy on Instagram, but as long as she has her name in there, it'll pop up and I know which one to click of her. Or like my name on Instagram is Homes by Morgan, but my real name on Instagram is Morgan Tressler. So if somebody types either one of those, it's going to come up. So even though it's my handle is @Homes by Morgan, or the same thing, like my handle across the board, which is something that everyone should do, is make their handle the same across the board. So like on Facebook, your Facebook page should be @Homes by Morgan, Instagram @Homes by Morgan, YouTube @Homes by Morgan. That way it's very concise, and your profile is where you need to have that you're a realtor and where you serve, because you will get people searching for you and they have to search from something that's going to come up. So they may not remember your name, but they remember that, you know, you're at Remax, or they may know that you're a realtor, and they may not remember that. So they type those things in the search bar and that's how they find you.
Thank you.
Besides Brent, who can't stand social media, is there anybody else that opposes social media? Raise your hand if you can. Okay. So what can we do to get your mindsets a little different, to open up so that you do a little bit? I'm not saying you have to post every day of your life, but an occasional post of the fact of your life, what you're eating, a little bit about business, maybe once a week, will allow the people that you're friends with to know that you're still in the business. Like Morgan said, by attaching the fact that Joe goes to Planet Fitness, all the people that maybe have that Planet Fitness or Planet Fitness saved as the favorite so that they can see the posts of Planet Fitness, it all gets attached to that so people could see his videos. He might grow his number of friends from 1,000 to 2,000 very quickly, just because he associated that video with that Planet Fitness. It's just like we talk about every day with making the calls. It's a numbers game. In social media, it's also a numbers game. The more friends you have, the more views you have, the more people that see your content, the better chance you're going to have of them feeling like they know you, and then they'll want to use you when it comes to servicing real estate. It's funny for those of us that are old, and we go back to class reunions. There were people that we didn't see or talk to for 30 years, and you knew nothing about their life. But over the last 10 years to 15 years with Facebook, you feel like you know them all over again, and you might not have seen them in 30 or 40 years. And it's because of social media that you've read their posts, you've looked at their pictures, you've seen their kids and their grandkids, and you feel like you know them again. And you know what? They know you again. And when something happens to their parents and they need to sell their house or something like that, they're going to think of you because you're in real estate and you had that connection with them in social media, and you might have had a connection with them in high school 45 years ago.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, the numbers game of having lots of friends that know you is important with social media. And with when I say Brent and you don't like it, you know that in order to grow that rental business, we've got to come up with a social media marketing plan.
Absolutely.
And maybe it's not you, maybe it's Alyssa and Tammy that do it. And they become the face and the message for for their business to grow in that business. Kong, you're shaking your head. You're not a big social media person, but you've been putting more things on about your kids. And it's nice to see that you're putting your daughter and your son and where you go to eat and those type of things. I enjoy seeing it. Yeah, I'm sure other people do too. And you know that that's going to come back and help you in the future.
Right. It's interesting because my daughter just turned 10, and last night she was sitting there making reels, like cutting and pasting and putting videos, clipping it together of things she's doing. And that's a whole different story if Irma's going to allow her to have her own Instagram yet or not. But it's just people are starting so young doing this stuff, and it just gets you out there and gets
But
you.
it's a different way of communication,
It
Colin.
is. It
You know,
is.
we just before it was everybody getting together. Now it's everybody getting together on these wavelengths that we now have, and some of them interact for us, and some of them don't. But just remember this when you're thinking about all this stuff. If you go to somebody, for instance, like my example now, if I'm talking to somebody about an operation, my operation, they will relate to my operation with their operation or some sickness they had. It's almost the same thing with what we're talking about here. It's that relationship that allows you to remember Joe Schutz or to remember Tim Costello or Klongang or Morgan Tressler, or those are the things that help you expose yourself to more people. And when you say you don't like that type of communication, what would you rather have? 3 direct communications in 1 month, or 50 communications in 1 month, resulting in 10 direct communications? And does everybody follow what I'm saying there? Because what we're now talking about, who I am totally Flintstone and will be the first person to admit it, if you can double or triple the number of contacts that you make, and you wind up with 2 more than you would have had just by direct contact, you're going to be ahead of the game, because Tim said it all. It is still a game of numbers.
Can I just say one other thing? Morgan brought something to my attention that I was resistant to, that I was filtering people who would request to follow me and that sort of thing. And I'd be like, I don't know them. I don't want them following me because I don't know them, or they're a competitor. You know, I was like, oh, I don't want another agent following me, you know, because they might steal my valuable idea. And she brought it out. She's like, why would you do that? You know, I'm like, I didn't understand. I was resistant to that. And I just felt like initially that I only wanted people that I was friendly with or people who I had an acquaintance with to follow me. And she's like, no, that's not how you do it. You got to let strangers follow you. And I felt odd about that, but you know, it's how you get more exposure. And so now I've lifted that filter and I'm getting a lot more following.
Just remember, you cannot depend on that. That's got to be an adjunct to what you're already doing, which gives you additional exposure. everybody, we've all got to work from some kind of base, and that base is our database. All of these things that we're talking about is an addition to that database that helps you get over the hump. What Morgan is not saying is she's found her niche. She has all these people that she's already contacting. Joe Schutz has found his niche. He has all these people that he's already contacting, but she's making these additional calls that I'm now talking about and upping her percentage of chance of doing more business. It is a game of numbers, and if you work through these numbers mathematically, you're going to find that it's another key to success that you guys are going after with this new media way of contacting people.
And Brooks, you and I talked this morning about something that I know the Andersons were doing a while back, was supporting local businesses and doing interviews with local businesses. Bill, how do you feel that worked out for you years ago when Sherry was interviewing local business owners like insurance companies and things like that?
That went well. I mean, we got a lot of feedback on it. Of course, the businesses loved it, and they would, refer and things like that. The videos were so long, it just took a lot of editing time. And with the new reels, 30 seconds, you can be done producing something in 2 minutes. You know what I mean? So it makes a big difference. And I mean, we enjoyed doing it, but it was just so much work. And to do it right and to make it look professional.
Or one of the things that I could see with you and where you're at is your son is racing. Everybody loves racing. I'd be videoing those babies and editing them out and sending them out all the time. I would, whether it's an action, something that people will click on, and if they click on it, you got. I think that's a natural.
And I mean, and we do that. I mean, obviously, they don't race every weekend. And another thing that we had done was on Facebook, we created a West Hanover Township neighborhood page. And I bet there's over 4,000 people on that page. Now, we're very careful not to advertise real estate or anything like that. If somebody wants to advertise their business on it, we delete it. We want it to be a talk type page, informational type page. And that's been, people know us now. Our name is up there if they look closely, but it's a really busy page that you get a lot of activity through it and contacts. So,
well, I'd be working that one.
And if they're not a township resident, we don't allow them to join. I mean, we physically ask them a question: where do you live? And if they don't answer where they live, I just delete them. I'm not even dealing with it. We just look up the address on the tax records. It doesn't take long to do. Find it there, you approve them. If not, adios.
So Aaron, for those folks that resist the social media posting, Brenna's willing to do some of that for them, isn't she?
Yeah, so she sent out an email now that she's really getting into doing more postings and stuff. She will do coming soon. We've been doing new listings every week. We put those out. If you have an open house, she can create things. Pretty much, whatever you guys want to do, she can post. We try and tag you if you do have an Instagram. Some of our agents don't have Instagram, but we do it on Facebook as well. So anything that we can help with, she's more than willing to do. So please reach out to her. Let us share it on social media. If you don't want it on yours, let us share it on our business page. She's willing to do whatever. So, just let us know what you need help with.
Feel free to tag me on any posts you want to put out. I know Sherry Anderson and a few other people do that. I mean, I have 2,000 friends. The more people you tag, the more people that are going to see your posts. So I don't have a problem at all with anybody that wants to tag me, because one, it helps promote our company to the people that know me. So I enjoy the tags.
I tagged you the other day on our bet. I got a couple comments on that. That was amazing. People like to see that I won the bet.
Moving on. Brooks, anything else you want to add to the things that we talked about with trying to improve our social media presence?
Yeah, just one last thing that you and I kind of discussed here this morning. Shelly Ott's grandson a little while back had something really creative, I thought, that he did on social media. He created a challenge for himself to I think it was 4 wall murals for art. And he documented the whole process of, however long that took. Every day he was doing, a reel, a story, in showing his progress and making calls, generating the business and talking to the people. And it just was something I thought that was really creative. It's inspiring for people to see, and also it extends your reach on these social media accounts. So that if you aren't aware of that, we'll try to dig up those links. I think he has those videos saved. You can go back and watch them and maybe use it for some inspiration for yourselves.
Okay. Aaron, the chili cook-off, you want to mention that again? What's the date on it?
The date is March 13th, I think. Yes, March 13th, chili cook-off, the more the merrier. We had a great turnout last year, even bigger than the year before. It's just something fun for us to do. All get together. Everybody likes to, compete a little bit. So healthy competition is good. So just keep me posted. If you don't want to cook, you're more than welcome to taste. And yeah, that's what we're doing in March.
The last thing I'd like to end up with is for those that do want to go to any sort of seminars or be involved in any virtual seminars, you might want to check out more of Tom Ferry if you're looking to improve your social media presence, because he is definitely, out of all the different trainers that are out there today, Tom Ferry's more into the social media and the posting. So I would look up his content, see what he has coming up, and maybe consider either traveling to an event or getting on one of his virtual calls. Other than that, Brooks, I don't have anything else.
Yeah, no meeting next week. I'm actually going to be in Vermont, so we'll pick it back up with the following week. And we'll be talking about, if you guys aren't aware, Zip Forms, the old classic viewer of documents, is going away. So you got to get used to the new one if you haven't already. But we'll be going through what that looks like and kind of the ins and outs at our next Tuesday Mastermind. So,
and then maybe another class would be if it can't be done virtually, maybe we can show people how to do these reels and edit them, those like Bill was talking about. I mean, I have no idea how you make a reel or edit it and post it. So
you're not going to teach the class, Tim?
No, I'm not going to teach it. I'm going
Well,
to.
Maybe we can get Morgan to run a workshop for us here at the office.
I was going to say,
do it that way.
let's do a workshop at the office where it's absolutely hands-on. Look, we're not going to get 20 people, but we may get 5, and those 5 may become very effective. And that's what we've got to hang our hats on as trainers and helpers of our agents. And so I think, and I'm having the floor right now, I would like to say to everybody, thank you for your cards. Thank you for your support. It's been great. I'm going to get back there. It's going to take me a little longer because we had a little bit of reset, but whatever the case is, you're going to be seeing me at that office some point in time.
Well, I'll come back, Dad. Yep.
Thanks.
All right.
Hey, Tim, I'd like to see Regina do a reel of you leaving in the morning, how she pushes you out the door and gives you your coffee, and she can
Tim's
show you
morning
rolling up the
routine.
driveway. Be creative with it.
I bet he would get 1 million hits on that.
It would be pretty funny because I still haven't figured out whether or not she's just being nice to me because she loves me, or she wants me to get the hell out of the house.
It's number
Because
2.
she has all my drinks in my car. She has the car door open. She has the garage door up. My car's packed. And I'm just still trying to figure out whether or not it's she really loves me or is she just want me to leave.
It's because I really love you.
Oh, thank you, honey. It'd be
Yeah.
nice if we could see you.
I'll
Cameras
be in because you forgot your phone.
Yeah. Okey doke. Sounds
right,
good,
see you
guys.
guys.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.